Hello everybody, this is Jeff Womack with EXE Automated Solutions. And in today's video, what I'd like to do is talk to you about deficiencies and bypasses and how to interact and manage them. So let's get started. I'll just sign in. Okay, what I'd like to do is start off with deficiencies. We went over on the overview on how to create a deficiency, but in this short video I'd like to just go over everything again specifically on deficiencies and bypasses. So in this section right here, if you look, there's your bypasses. It shows the number of bypasses, and this shows the category and description and type of deficiency you have with the class associated with it. So what I'd like to do is just go through here, and I'll just go into the deficiencies screen. You notice we don't have any deficiencies in here yet. So what I'm going to do is if we're going along commissioning and we come up to a device that we want a deficiency on, and say we're going to we have a issue with the upper range value here, so I want to create a deficiency about that. And I'll just put a CSU. You can put whatever work group you want here. See this little button right here? If you want to add another work group, you can just press add and create whatever work group up here. And if I hit save, there is a new work group in there. Oops, maybe I'll spell it correctly. So when I close that and go into work groups, now that new work group will show up right here. So if I want to create a new work group, and you can create same thing with different trades. You notice here I have electrical, engineering, instrumentation, PLC programming, PLC HMI, and programming PLC. So I'll just, for the purpose of this one, I'll just select engineering. And then I'll put a description. I'll just put a description that makes sense. Actually, I'll switch this to controls. There's no instrumentation here. Oh, there is right there. And what I'll do for the purpose of this one, we can take a look at here. And these values here, or the descriptions of these categories, can be changed if you have normalization access. So you can put whatever description in there that meets the standards of how you want to do the commissioning. But just keep in mind that if you set category A class for your deficiency, it will not let you complete that check. And if it was already completed and you set it as a type A, it will uncheck that check and not allow you to recheck it until you've cleared that deficiency or you've re-edited it to a class B deficiency. So I can go ahead and show you that right now. Actually, I'll set it as a class A and I'll hit save. So you notice right here I've got automation, engineering, upper range, and it's a class A. So now if I were to go try to check this box, it says cannot complete this deficiency as long as there is associated a deficiency. Deficiency ID number is 1. So now if I hit go here, you notice I've got a deficiency ID number of 1 there, and it's a class A. So if going along and you have security access to be able to edit the deficiencies, you notice right there it says deficiency edit. I can go in now and switch that to a class B, and now it's set up as a class B. And if I go back to here to this part, I can enable user access, and now I can check that off, but it's still got a deficiency associated with it. So now we can get into bypasses. Oh, I wanted to show you too, if you had multiple deficiencies, that's when I launch it from the other screen, it just puts that name in the filter. But say if I went to a different screen now, and I'll just go to a different tag, and I'll create a deficiency against that. I'll go programming HMI. I'll leave that as a class B and I'll hit save. Now if I go into my deficiencies tab up here, I show every deficiency. I can go ahead and filter the deficiencies by any one of these filters. I can filter it by, if I want bypass, from the description filter, I can hit refresh and it'll just bring up the bypass. So that's pretty much working with deficiencies. Oh, I wanted to show you here how you can preview reports. You can create reports on the deficiency right here, and whatever you filtered in this is what the report will filter as well. Another way you can get deficiencies to an Excel spreadsheet, if you wish, is you can go into devices, click on the Excel button, and there's a spot here where you can export deficiencies if someone wants it in a Excel format. I can filter by date created and I can hit export. And then now that it's done exporting, I can go into active deficiencies 2019-3-7. And there, it just exported the deficiencies. I can do the same thing on if the deficiencies are date completed. So you notice, I'll just grab this. Oops. So in the export, it shows completed by, date completed, and a completion note as well. So if it's got a date completed, you know the deficiency has been completed and all is good. So that's two ways of getting information from your deficiencies out to whoever requires it. So now what I'd like to do is talk to you about bypasses, which is very similar. I'm just going to go into here and I'm going to add a bypass. And I'll hit save. And now that I have the bypasses there, and I can go add bypasses from multiple areas, but now if I hit go into the bypasses, I show my bypass here. I can filter the bypass however I want, by date created, I can see all the bypasses in a certain subsystem, and I can filter bypasses by ID number. And then if I hit preview, it shows a very similar report, except it's right here, you notice it's device bypasses. And as well, when I go back into devices, I can go into Excel, and here's my bypasses export. I can create select a date created or date completed, and I don't have any completed right now. So if I hit export and go into here, I can see active bypasses, and it puts a date stamp on it. And there's my bypass in the Excel spreadsheet form. So if I bring that over, you can see that I got the same columns, completed by, date completed, and completion notes for the bypass. So this is a really good way of extracting bypass information or deficiency information for reports, and be able to manage completion of the bypass and keep track of it better in your system and the deficiencies. So I'll just close out. And also I just wanted to quickly note that the deficiencies, the edit, delete, and complete deficiencies, they're all set up in your user access levels. So you notice here that this one says deficiency edit, deficiency delete, and deficiency clear deficiencies. These are different security access levels. So if you want people just to be able to create the deficiencies and not complete them, that's completely under your control. Anyways, that concludes the videos for our video for deficiency and bypasses. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next video.